science, but the brilliant minds at HP, after years of research, what they come up with. And I'm glad they did, because this is something that we're experimenting with and adopting. Because we weren't smart enough to figure this out. So this is something that's really interesting that we've been working on. I think this might be the end. It is.
Oh no.
But well, yeah, I know it's sad. The conclusion is, a plea for help. We are a nonprofit. So, hey, go give a talk at this place and go ask them for help. So we're looking for passionate engineers that don't mind, well, sort of chaotic environments. And also the whole pay money thing. If you're okay with not getting paid much, working in a really stressful, chaotic environment, come work for us. And we're actually rather picky about hiring, but there's a lot of there's a certain personality type that thrives at the Internet Archive, and there's a certain personality type that's not going to make it. They got to go work for the man. They're not cut out for this sort of thing. But if you know anyone like this, let me know. Because we're always looking for people like this, and they've got to have that inner drive. So that's the news on that. And now, do you have any questions? Yes.
So what is the main URL?
The big deal?
Yeah.
Archive.org. www.archive.org. That'll give you links to pretty much everything that I talked about.
Believe it or not, they really got that URL.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that happened. We got it. Yeah.
What is your standard platform for the current generation of machines?
Oh, yeah, good question. We started out with BSD, and we now use Red Hat Linux. Considering switching to Debian, not sure.
What about hardware-wise?
We had HP machines, desktop machines. Then now we use generic white boxes. The HPs were Intel based. The white boxes are AMD based. AMD's too hot. So we're probably going to go back to Intel or some other chip. But yeah, kind of white box thing. Everything's 100 megabit too.
Do you need the speed in the processor? Because if you're going down to low power processors, they're much less powerful.
Certainly.
But the point is, in your case, the savings in the heat is going to be...
Right. I mean, you really, yeah. I mean, there's a couple different philosophies. If you want to do the big data mining, yeah, we chew up CPU for some of the data mining, indexing and sort of thing. But the vast majority of our systems are effectively just disk controllers.
Right, light support for the storage.
Exactly. And so those don't require a lot of power at all. But it's tough to figure out what that balance is, what that mix is. So, we have some boxes that had old boxes. Our oldest boxes had 20 drives per CPU, and now we're down. We have 4 drives per CPU. Just more reliable that way. We might creep back up to 8. Not sure. We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
What's your data mirroring strategy? I mean, how do you keep stuff synchronized between the data centers?
Yeah, that's a great question. You have to just really keep it simple. It's basically it's not a lot more complicated than rsync. Okay, but you can't just let rsync go and do its thing, right? You got to say, look, we're going to give you some hints, rsync. But to give you an answer in 15 seconds, it's basically a very well-managed rsync routine. Most of everything done at the archive is pretty much done in Perl, really. There's a few rogue processes that someone hacked together in C. We're trying to stamp those out. We just want to, we got Apache running. We got, we try to keep things commodity, but every once in a while you get these engineers that just want to, grab a port and stick a daemon on it. And,
Nikon minutes.
You know, who knows what it does? You know, whatever. So anyway, so we try to keep things simple, and so there's a lot of it's tough. So, but yeah, that's the sort of short answer on the mirroring thing. And it, you know, there's a lot of gotchas about that. But if you're just trying to archive data, simple. When a disk dies, you just go to the corresponding disk and say, hey, your partner's dead. Make a copy of yourself so we can have two of you. And that may take several hours for it to do, but you just do it. And then when you get around to it, you got to do it on the disk-to-disk level. You can't worry about the file to file. It's too complicated. You can't spray files all over the place. You do the math, and you're just going to guaranteed to lose data if you spray stuff everywhere. It's a subtle thing.
You have a standardized disk size or something?
Well, no, that's the other thing. You've got to deal with generations.
Yeah.
The mirrors, you really want them to be the same disk.
Right.
But you do, if they're larger, then you kind of pretend that it's smaller. You know, so you want to keep kind of generations in sync. So that's an interesting challenge, dealing with generations. And we've, you know, the machines that are 4 years old, it's like, yeah, I don't want to work with those. But I mean, you know, they seem like antiques.
It's a different kind of a challenge because you're not trying to run an airline reservation system. You're running a system where all the material is coming to you on your schedule because you're going out and getting it or bringing it in from Alexia or someplace like that.
Yeah.
It's not something where it's dynamic, and if it fails, we don't know what we've lost.
Yeah. It's interesting. Scale 8 was commercial and did deal with real-time data ingestion. Most of it was music videos from MTV, Viacom, a lot of music files, a lot of photos, MSN photos. We had all their stuff. And actually, it's interesting. A lot of the photo companies out there that do online photos don't do backups or mirroring. We know. So just, you know, don't use them as an archive, okay? It's just, they lose data and they go, oh, well, you know, only a fraction of it. Well, it's interesting. The drop-off curve, like people use photos online for about 30 days, and then like the vast majority of them never look at them ever again. Yeah. You know, they have these cliffs. And so by the time like a year or two goes by and they lose the data, because on the 30-day stuff, they put that on a RAID system. But then as it gets old, they put it on just old crappy ATA drives that aren't backed up, that aren't mirrored, that aren't anything, and they just rot away. And it's, you know.
So is there just a lot of basically automatic software that sits there and manages all the disks are dying and they replicate them, or is there a lot more manual?
Well, the archive, it's very manual. Eventually, a lot of it needs to be automated. At Scale 8, it got as automated as it should be, I guess I should say, because you don't want to automate everything. We had about a disk failure a week at Scale 8. We had over 4,000 disks. And you just, you know, and that's not a big deal, one a week. You can just kind of methodically go, oh, it failed. We better, start the replication process, and sometime we need to go to that data center and fix that. You're very methodical. But if you have things automated, bad stuff can happen, you know, and you only